I know a lot of people feel this way, but I feel this way. But I'm really happy that you came to at least my university. We got to meet.
Thanks, man.
I'm a big believer.
Right in the heart.
I'm a big believer.
Pew, pew, pew.
I mean, I'm not sure about you, but I'm fairly religious. I do believe that there is a higher being than
100%.
us, and
100%.
it, God or whatever you worship, whatever you believe in, that there is something higher, and that God, that thing is leading us somewhere for a reason.
So we are not going to be led anywhere. We have to lead each other. And I completely... I hate religion, but I love spirituality, and I don't use that as a cop-out to not be accountable for my own actions.
Yeah.
I say that because I feel like religion, Catholicism, has really humanized something that is unfathomable. We cannot fathom the greatness, there's no word that can describe the entity that we are supposed to be worshiping.
Yeah.
What Catholicism has done to religion, it's put all that power into one man on a pedestal that's wearing a lot of fancy shit, surrounded by a lot of valuable things.
Sure.
Putting us in very vulnerable and precarious positions. I was not molested. I don't have anything against Catholicism because of some shit like that. But I do have it against because I feel like it's alienated me from God. It's put somebody between myself and God.
There's a barrier.
And I think it's been done on purpose. And I feel like that's been the devil's way into the church, is through religion.
Wow. So, I'll be honest, I'm Catholic.
I will not ever say anything to you disrespectfully in that respect,
no.
but I was there too.
It's interesting because, segue or a little tangent we're
Let's do
going
it.
on. But, I mean, I was Catholic. I'm always been Catholic. My family's Catholic, and I think it comes with the Hispanic tradition.
Oh, yeah.
But I went to my elementary school years. I went to a Baptist church school, which is interesting, right? Like from Catholic to Baptist. And yes, the church was different. Like we had chapel once a week, and it was very, very different. What was interesting from going to a Baptist school church and being Catholic was that by the end of my years there, and I did 8 years total in that elementary school, I learned that religion is, as far as Christianity and Catholic, yes, it's different beliefs in a sense, but you're worshiping the same God. And so what I learned is that yes, people have different religions, but at the end of the day, you're worshiping the same God. But religion is what works best for you, right? So like for me, and maybe it's because I was brought up this way, but like Baptist church was kind of weird to me. I felt more comfortable in a Catholic church, where some people, Catholic church is boring. I can't.
I think that's on purpose.
Well, yeah, and it might be, but I can actually, that's for me. That's my church. For some people, Catholic.
Is it because the people that you go to church there with?
Maybe it might be, but I think for me, like, it makes sense to me. You know,
that's the thing though. It's like Catholicism, like, it kind of puts a shroud over your spiritual eye.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
I get where you're going with it. I understand.
Because I was what was it? I went to catechism.
Yeah, no, first
Catholic
communion,
school, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Went to Catholic school. Went to Presbyterian. Then we went to Lutheran for a while. My dad was raised Lutheran, so I saw it was like, oh, Catholicism, the Pope, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
And then I go to Lutheran school, and they're like, Martin Luther said, "Fuck that."
Yeah.
And it's, but like, why do we need all that?
Sure.
I don't understand.
Well, and here's the beauty of, at least my point of view. No matter where you are, right? No matter what religion you are, church can be anywhere you want it to be.
Yeah, 100%.
Church is a building. Sure, when we think of church, we think of a building. But church, the definition of church can be anywhere you want it to be, right? Wherever you feel comfortable to pray, that can be your church.
Well, I mean, it's funny because church, it says in the Bible, church is actually like a place to rejoice,
Place of worship,
and worship God, to sing.
Sure.
And I feel like that's why Catholics killed music, killed worship. They killed our ability to enjoy. Like I've been to EDC in Vegas.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Like you see crowds and crowds. Go to a fucking Billie Eilish concert. You know, they're talking about losing your virginity to Satan, and you're just like, and people are just like, oh my God, I love you, Billy.
Yeah.
You know, like, but Catholicism's like, Ave Maria. Like I don't
Yeah.
even speak that.
Yeah.
You know, and I started going to a church up in Stone Oak, North Rock, and it goes just with like what I've been wanting. Like,
Yeah.
it shows me it. Here's the Bible. Here's literally what it says.
Yeah.
This isn't an interpretation. This is why it's said this way.
Mm-hmm.
And then we sing and rejoice in God, and it's actually good, great music.
Yeah.
Good, great live music.
But see, that works for you.
Why
Like
would
for some people, I get it. Why doesn't it work for everybody?
Because we're creatures of habit. That's why.
Yeah.
We have to make each other uncomfortable. We are the church.
Sure.
We are the people. The Holy Spirit is real, and we are the church, whether we are in the same building or not. You understand?
Yeah.
We have to hold each other accountable. That's in the Bible as well.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going down a blind road with your blinders on, I have to be like, hey man, this is what you're doing. You're getting comfortable. You're getting used to it. Here's why. If you think I'm wrong, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's not get mad about it. You know, I'm not telling you this because I think I'm better than you, or because I think, you know, I worship a better God than you, or because I need to go blow myself up to earn virgins after this is all said and done. At the end of the day, we're supposed to value life and love over everything, and not our own.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And I feel like religion has turned spirituality into the NFL. And all these big sects of religion, Catholicism, the primary, Islam, primary, Hindu, Buddhist, you know, there's different variations, but if you look at all these religions through, or spiritual premises or whatever histories through the archaic, like, age, they're all the same.
Well,
Same story.
I think it's funny you say that, because there's a lot of pastors that we see on TV who are making millions of dollars.
Tax-free.
Tax-free. You mentioned it, how like it compares to the NFL, and you know, it's at a certain point it's more about money than the word of God.
Yeah.
You know, and that's sad that it's like that.
I bet you there's going to be a day where we're going to be able to use Bitcoin to get our family members out of hell.
Someone will come up with something like that. Yeah, I get it. It's turned into a money industry, and I'll go back to the whole thing of I'm Catholic. I go to church when I can, but I'm not like every Sunday I go to church. But and honestly, like, I know people who go to church every Sunday, and yet they're the shittiest people.
Dude,
you know?
It's crazy. The saddest thing that actually made me realize the conviction I feel about Catholicism is the fact of how many people, like, even like just these poor lost people, like current atheists and agnostics, that you ask all of them, well, what's your familiarity with religion? How did you grow up? Like, yada, yada, yada. 90% of the time, it seems like the answer is like, well, I was Catholic, or this Catholic person did this to me, or this is the person I know that did. And that's not an accident. Like, you are a good-hearted person. You can tell you are a good-hearted person.
Yeah.
You're just good peoples, you know? You are what's good for spirituality. But what things like Catholicism has done, or religion in general, has given bad people a way in to fuck over good
Give an
people.
excuse.
Yeah.
It gives them
It gives them an out to being accountable for their actions, using each other. Dude, you give one man God's power.
It's too much.
It's too much power.
No.
That's unfair.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I get that. So really, I think what we're focusing on is the hierarchy. Not necessarily the whole church idea, but the hierarchy, the setup of how religion is set up. The way I think it fixes it is, I mean, I don't know if it's to fix it, but
It's each other.
It's each other, like
It's community.
it
It's
goes
the church.
It goes back to the whole idea, like
The
church,
primal
church is
definition
anywhere you want
of
it
the
to be.
church. Exactly. That's
Yeah.
the point of that, is that we are the church as we sit here and talk about God.
Yep.
It's good that we doubt human interventions into spiritual realms because humans are wrong.
Sure.
We're wrong. Like,
Yeah.
we're sitting here talking about, oh, well, God isn't real, and God never said that we were made in the image of him, but let's go make life. I want to be a God.
Yeah.
How does that make sense? It's because people are so blinded by their own ego, by their own standards, by their own, their own goals, objectives, of whether it be proving they're right or proving everyone else wrong, whatever their insecurity is.
Right.
That's the end of it. But we have to be the church and keep each other accountable. It can't just be. God has become a scapegoat, and it's unfair to everyone that doesn't believe in God, because everyone that doesn't believe in God deserves to know God as he intended. And that's love, acceptance.
I was really
It's simple.
I was very fortunate that I got to experience 2 different religions as a young kid, because it opened my eyes that there is different religions I can experience if I don't feel comfortable in my religion. But I do feel comfortable in my religion. I think I feel comfortable in it. It works for me. I feel closer to God in my way. But again, I like I said, I don't go to church every Sunday, but I know that I pray every night, right? And that doesn't have to be attached to a religion.
No, it doesn't.
Like praying, right, makes me feel better, it makes me feel closer to God. And that itself isn't connected to a religion. And it doesn't have to be if you don't want it to be.
I almost got into an argument with one of my good friends yesterday during a lunch. And our ladies were there, so it would have been really awkward because him and I argue like family members, because it's just one of those people, It's just one of, he knows he's always right, and I know I'm always right, yada yada. But we ended it like before it could go crazy. But he the food came out and he did this whole, all right, let's pray, guys. And I don't pray in public. I don't pray in public anymore. Like if I'm in church, I'll do it because I'm not doing it for anybody else. But I don't pray in public because of, I think it's Matthew chapter 6, around verse 10. It literally gives you like the dummies how to pray. And it goes something along the lines of, you find a room, do not pray in public like the hypocrites do at the synagogues, for they'll, what they deserve is right there. And to pray properly, you go into a room, a dark room, you close your eyes, and in private, you say your Our Father, and it says the prayer right there, Our Father who art in heaven, yada, 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 yada. And God will see what your heart wants, and will, that's you're creating your connection with God. And I think that's for a reason, because we need that private time with God. Some people call it prayer, some people call it motivation, some people call it pick me up, whatever you want to do it. But you need that private time. And praying in public is you're not really actually praying. I guess you're sending good energies, but you're not building a relationship with God. Like if you want to pray with me, let's go somewhere together and pray in private and talk to God privately.
Sure.
That's what the Bible verse says. And then he was like, and my girl like jumped on it right away. She's amazing. She was like, oh yeah, he doesn't really like playing, like he doesn't really pray in public. And he was like, why? And I was like, well, I mean, Matthew 6:10, just now, I don't want to get into it really, we're about to eat, and he was like, well, it's funny you said that, because this is him. It's funny you said that because, actually in Sunday school, it was actually interpreted as, I was like, hold on, it doesn't need to be interpreted. It says what it says, and that's what it says.
Yeah.
Like, this is where we get all messed up, is because we start interpreting things. Just follow the letter of the law. It's right there.
Yeah.
It's right there. And
But
he was like, oh, okay. All right, well, never mind. Let's just pray.
I see your point, and I agree with it.
But I don't look down on people that pray. That's just my perspective.
Sure, and I think it goes back to who's comfortable with what.
I mean, I'm comfortable with praying in public, letting everybody know that I pray, but I'm not, because it's not the right thing to do. Like, according to that verse. That like it's church is rejoicing. Church is celebrating God. Church is an EDC concert in the building.
Sure.
You know, that's church.
Yeah.
But if you want a relationship with God,
It's the private.
talk to him.
Yeah.
Focus.
No, yeah.
You can't focus, you know, like
I get that.
I remember how many Thanksgiving prayers I've given, and every single prayer I've ever given at the table, I did it because I wanted to, like I was praying to God, but a part of me, my ego,
It's to please everyone.
yeah,
who's there.
I want to make
Yeah.
sure everyone's
Right.
covered. It's like an Oscars, you know, like
I
I'm at the
understand that.
Grammys or some shit
get
like that. You know?
It's funny. There's a part in the Bible, in the New Testament, where Jesus sees all these vendors, I guess, at the church, and he gets pissed. Right? He like destroys everything and stuff, and these people are like making money at the place of worship. They're trying to sell things where we come to worship God, and wrapping everything up.
He was a teenager when he did that.
Yeah. I think wrapping everything up is that
And then there's
Even-
real estate agents at church.
even back then they were dealing with this.
Mhm.
People profiting from religion,
The
from
name of God,
church.
the image of God. Even he says, I will not, you know, give that value to the images of God. You're not praying to
funny.
this rosary. I'm not, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I wore this because I was like, man, God's gonna look over me. This was my thinking for the first 28 years of my life. I'm 31 now. I'm like, man, if I wear this,
He's gonna
God's
protect
gonna
me.
keep a special eye on me. No. No, he's gonna keep a special eye on you because you talk to him all the time.
Right.
Like you literally be in the car talking to God all the time. Who's stopping you?
Yeah.
You know? You need some good energies, like listen to Christian music. Put on 91.3. You know?
Yeah.
I've had moments where family talk on Sirius XM, or you know, I'm like down in the dumps because out with the TBIs and stuff, get random depression. Like I have a good life. You see my car.
Yeah.
That's
nice
one
car.
of two cars. I have another nice car. I have a great apartment. I have a house in Georgia. I have a fucking beautiful, great girlfriend that treats me amazing. I'm about to have a kid on the way.
Yeah.
I have so many things to be happy for.
Yeah.
There's days that I'm just like
Down in the
down,
dumps,
down.
man.
Like
Yeah.
physically, physiologically, it's just not working that day. That's the beauty of music. Different parts
Yeah.
of the brain just
Activate.
man. It saves lives.
You know, when I'm feeling down, man, I pray. I pray in my bedroom. I pray in the shower. Because it's me. It's my time. For everyone's different, right? People maybe they don't do that, but for me, I do, and I never felt closer to God.
Yeah, exactly. Praying. Like it's even people that don't believe in God. Like if you don't even know how to address God.
And it's not even like, for me, like praying is how you interpret it, however you talk to him. I don't mean getting on your knees and pray at your bedside. Man, sometimes when I need guidance, I'm literally like, yo, God, help me out here, man. Like I need you right now. It's like if I'm talking to my best friend. Because that's the way my grandma told me to talk to him.
She knows.
Yeah, like you talk to him like if it's your best friend. And so I talk to him like how I'm talking to you. You know, I don't put on this fancy wording into my prayers. I talk to him like a normal person, like if they're in the room.
It's interesting because I've noticed myself kind of talk to God differently.
But see, it's not wrong. It's not wrong.
No, I know.
It's
yeah,
just
I feel
it's
you.
it's
like,
just
how
like
else are we supposed to know? You
Sure.
know, even the Catholics say in their catechism that those who don't know can't be judged. Something along those lines. And I feel like that's somewhere in the Bible too.
Yeah.
Is, you know, you just, if you don't know, use your best judgment.
Yeah.
Be a good person. Don't hurt other people in your process.
praying, religion, like choosing what religion you want to associate yourself with. It all comes down to what you feel comfortable with.
I disagree.
Sure.
I disagree respectfully because I do feel like the point of living for something better or not better, but living for something more important than yourself is going to be uncomfortable. It's like lifting weights. You have to be tested to be even more testable, which results in being a much greater influence for a much greater amount of people.
Yeah.
If God has a mission for you, he's not going to put you up there as Ricardo Guzman, the freshman theater person in high school. He's going to put you up there as the battle-tested spiritual warrior that's ready to take on whatever the world has to offer.
Yeah.
So in order to get there, it's like you have to tear these muscle fibers, these spiritual muscle fibers, to get where you need to be a better example for people that need that example. So I feel like discomfort is to be expected. If anything, it's inevitable.
So it's okay to be uncomfortable when it comes to religion, would you say?
I think it's okay to expect discomfort when it comes to definitely religion, but more so spirituality. Because conviction is something that can't be taken from a man. It can only be given. You know, if I believe in something, you're going to have to do something fucking crazy to me to make me not believe in it anymore. But once we lose that conviction, then what's our point?
What's the point of everything?
Yeah, what's the objective?
It's interesting, man. I'm glad we had this talk, man.
Yeah, of course. I'm very passionate about this and trying to like rediscover myself, because I've grown up under all these facades and, you know, egos, and the fact that I wasn't homeschooled, I didn't really have an old image of myself to be proud of, to bring to, you know, when I got to school and all that stuff. You know, discovering myself as a man, I had to go through a lot of dumb shit, but it was worth it.
I want to touch on that if I can.
Yeah, of course.
For someone who was homeschooled, from the outside looking in, it's like, they're missing out the whole experience of school, like high school and stuff. And I don't know how long you were homeschooled, but from someone outside looking in, it's like, they're missing out the whole school life, right? And we don't have to go into detail about it, but like, would you homeschool your kids?
So, I am officially 3 months pregnant.
You are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am. Because me and my girl are one.
Dang.
So I'm pregnant. I put on a little pregnancy weight since I found out. Some people call it video game weight.
Dad bod.
Dad bod. I mean, I've been dad bod since before I was a dad. I was dad bod / pull out champ / you know, steal your grandma. But these are all facts. I've done these things. Navy's a fucking crazy place. But no, I have this beautiful lady who's about to bore me a very strong son. I'm speaking that into existence. I don't know. We're not that far along yet, but I hope it's a boy.
We'll pray that.
Yes, because raising a daughter is gonna be tough coming up. But yeah, I've been thinking about that. I even considered moving to like Costa Rica, just so I can kind of like disconnect and raise my own kid instead of being forced to let everyone else raise my kid, because I feel like we're in a position where a lot of parents can't raise their own children, and these kids have enough to worry about when it comes to genetic predispositions. You know, and then you add that up and you just throw that shit out and roll the dice into fucking, I don't know, whatever Miley Cyrus has to say, you know, or Billie Eilish or whatever. Like, all these parents are working so hard to pay this big ass bill that they really couldn't afford to get from the get-go because they wanted to have a good family life, or what they think is a good family life, or they're trained to think what a good family life is. And these kids don't grow up feeling the importance of human touch, scared of it, you know? So I want to be around for my kid. I'm in a position where I might be able to do that. You know, I made some good investments and stuff like that, and I have the GI Bill, and you know, I'm really liking this whole writing part of theater. And my girl's going to school to be a vet.
Nice.
So, you know, I'm making my money and I'm contributing to the relationship, and I will continue to do so. But I think she's actually cool with me just like raising our kid too, because I'm woke as fuck these days.
Sure.
You know, and I don't want anybody brainwashing my kid. I want my kid to be happy.
I can get that. I've never heard a point. I asked this because I've never heard a point of view from someone who's homeschooled. And I know most people who have been homeschooled, but I never really got to sit down with them and say, hey, what was your experience like? And like, would you do that to your kid? You know,
that was probably that disappointment that I learned, because I was out in the country. We lived out in Poteet when I was a kiddo.
Okay.
And so all I had was my mom and my dad and whichever dogs we had at the time.
Sure.
And my dad, he homeschooled me. He was a homeschooler. He's brilliant guy. He actually has a book that he wrote back in '95. When that book flopped, he like went down the rabbit hole, and that's I think that's been my biggest trigger, catalyst, inspiration. That whole gambit of descriptions has been what I needed to maybe succeed in theater, because he was my best friend. He was my only friend until I was like 11 or 12. Taught me how to play baseball, had me playing. I was playing baseball in the league that had 3 to 4 year old kids, like 3 or 4 years older than I was. Like I was that's what I needed in my life. And then when that book flopped, you know, that's that daddy issues moment. You know, he just kind of like ghosted. My mom had to like take over from there, and she wasn't ready for that. Not emotionally, she didn't, you know. And so that when I lost that at like 12 or 13, that was a pain that I had to learn how to get through. And I did a lot of different things to try to get through it, and I made it.
Yeah.
So I have like all these different perspectives that I just can't wait to just put somewhere.
That's the thing too. Do you feel like you're ready to be a parent?
Who does?
Like with all you've gone through, like
Quoting every parent ever. I feel like, relatively speaking, I am more in a position to be a parent than I was last year, and than I will be in a year. Because if I wasn't going to have a kid, I would still tell you, no, I'm not ready. I will tell you I'm not ready to have a kid up until I'm dead.
Yeah.
But now that it's actually happening, you have to be ready. If you want to be a good parent, you have to be ready. You have to do what you need to do. You just have to. Like, if you don't, you're just selfish.